I think about the responsibility, the assurance of my commitment, the respect that I have for every detail of what nature has to offer. To be able to create a novelty of both art and music, it requires the stillness and solitude of a real craftsman. Then I think about the possibilities when this becomes a part of someone else's experience. Exquisite sound and superb playability manifest in each of Huni's handcrafted ukuleles. Huni is the expression of my understanding of the sacred relationship between the instrument and the artist. My name is Brian Bruces. I am Huni.
How does an air purifier like a Vici M1 work? It cleans the air and helps filter out dust and other harmful bacteria. No filter needed. Rechargeable and portable. Perfect for people on the go. It has easy controls and stylish design that is pretty lightweight. It also has power boost technology that provides 9 times more cleaning power. Wear it around your neck and have a sphere of breathable clean air anywhere you go. Make sure to get your units now. Visit us on our Facebook page at www.facebook.com/Erology or our Instagram account at _Erology. Avicii M1. Breathe healthy. Stay healthy.
Modernong Pilosopo.
Modernong Pilosopo.
Modernong Pilosopo.
Ancient philosophies presented and discussed by two Modernong Pilosopos in free-flowing, unscripted, raw, yet fun and relatable conversations. Modernong Pilosopo. Modernong Pilosopo, the podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, your host for tonight's show,
Brian Bruces and attorney Rene Abseri Jr.
Yeah, and we are live lodi mayong gabi diha. Modernong Pilosopo na pod. Right? Musta mo lodi? Yes. Yan, naitag rin. Ako kay blue man akong background. Kita ka blue akong background ni. O nagtanduay ice blue sigo. Dili ni siya sponsor. Dili siya sponsor. Pero di pa. Pero lipay tarong gabion na lo di kay ubay atong sponsors from gabion na. Di ba? Bago ra ka ni kaon di. Murag busog mo kay mong naw. Nganong busog mo karon di? Ay tungo na si sponsor di. Unsa mong panihapon no di? Pagumkong yung ka, no? Ngunit itawag ko, ito mo siya, crispy pata. Alright. Hindi piyag sudanan. Salamat. Yes, ang atong sponsor, atong ipakita, Dre, ha? Tiara. So, ang atong sponsor ledi dray si Gang's Food House.
right?
So Gangs Food House, visit their Facebook page. Bilang Facebook page kay facebook.com/gangs /food house. So Gangs Food House, pwede po mo email nila. They have delivery, gi-deliver gini nila sa atong isig kabalay di ang atong pagkaon for tonight, atong panihapon una ta magsugod nindot man ang busog ta no. Well nag
Yeah, thank you very much,
live
Gang's
ta.
Food House. Basically, nakatilaw na ko sa ilang three major nga delicacy.
Yay ka.
There's pata, pochero, and of course, you have hamonada. Very reasonable price. Very sulit, daghan kailang orders. Very tasty. And then, of course, they will deliver it straight from your home.
Yes.
So,
Through Lala Move, Angkas og Food Panda lodi, pwede po
exactly.
sila mo email gangsfoodhouse@gmail.com. Tawag lang po sa ilang number Globe 0927-625-3045 or sa Sun ay lang 0931-126-4383. So mo deliver din sa ron. Apil ba Cebu City? Na ba ka sa Mandawi mga Maka-deliver
Yeah,
sa ganun sila all
actually, they can
over?
deliver. Di ba, deliver man sa
Oo. Bisag asa ni sila. Mm. Oh, tuwas kusina. Oh, napay nagsigig ko ano ito. Nagsigig banat. Yes, very Filipino. Kana. Ayay ka. Ay, 1 kilo nito.
So, you're talking about the, mugi na siya ang Gang's Food House. That's
Mm.
their,
Kanay
that's
akong
their,
gipakita ron lodi ang ilang putsero atong
Mhm.
morning na sa inyong balay og kaning hamonada akong gipakita diron. So makita na nila sa atong live audience ang
Alright.
lami kayong panihapon sakto kay ni tanan kay aw na pa diri na gihimong sumsuman kay tagay Saturday taron. Taon sa ako. Oh, sa ubang natong sponsors, of course, atong pinakabagong sponsor po, kauban sa Gangs Food House, kani, si Avicii M1. Avicii M1, kabanday ko di wala na ko isipon. Siya unang mga pila ka episode, sigog naana ba? Nawa ang sipon ito. So, muna siya Avicii M1, wearable air purifier. So, ato lang mo sa ilang Facebook page sa Aerology. Facebook/Aerology. Ila pong Instagram is _Aerology. Sa ilang Instagram account. So for those of you atong mga amigo no na mga negosyo, may mga small business labi na karon nga online na tanan deliveries. If you want us to plug your businesses here, of course, in Modernong Pilosopo every Saturday and as well as atong mga pages, alam niyo, ako usap dire. Sige. Yay ka. Induta na eh. Ayay ka. Natasha Cebu. Yes, sari sa Modernong Pilosopo. And of course, before mo start sa atong episode number 8 today, which is very interesting topic, we would also want to announce to everyone, our avid viewers, our listeners, that all of our previous episodes are already available in Spotify. So atong ipakita no that they're available not just in Spotify, they're available in Anchor FM. Pwede mo sa through web browser anchor.fm modernong/pilosopo naapod siya sa Google Podcasts, naapod sa Breaker, Radio Republic og sa uban pa. So bayubay so katong ganahan ganahan mag-review sa atong mga episodes labi na nga sila lingaw nya ganahan sila makat-on sa ancient philosophies nga atong naistoryahan in an entertaining and more relatable manner. Adto lang sila sa Spotify. Yes. Mm. Exactly. Okay. So let's start with episode number 8. David Ricardo Ludi. David Ricardo. Mm. Mm.
Ang kibaw baka Parcho kinsa ang idol aning David Ricardo. No other than si Adam Smith.
Ludi, buang nga Ludi.
Katulad ng previous
Nakamute di
philosopher.
ka ganina.
Out of mute ko kaniya. Wala
Sulti
kay
ka doon sa to yung mga sponsor. Ludi, buang. Nalingaw ko kaon rin ako ka-unmute ni mo da. May buong ko
sige, sige,
na may
sige.
sigsinyas niya itong technical department. Akong pinalang yung
Sige.
asawa yung di ko siya kung dungog ni attorney. Usba, may usba. Mention mo na kanina
Sige.
taning live kay
Yeah,
live
at
kay
least.
tanan.
Sa imni ka pa niya.
Inom sa
Matay
ko.
inom niya.
Sige, sige, sige. Mention usab tong mga imong mga atong mga sponsors be kay wala day ka
Sponsors are
nagdunggi.
Gang's Food House.
Mm.
Yeah, I mentioned na to. Food House. What I like about Gang's Food House is guwapo kailang packaging. It's very native, very unique, and you will get very reasonable price considering it's more than a kilo yun.
Mm.
Particularly you're eating right now ilang crispy pata and what is ang akong dinner right now with paspachero and hamonada. So Gang's Food House, of course, we already advertised the the Facebook page and how you can contact Gang's Food House. Thank you very much, Ganging
Okay,
Bugay,
tong
for
beach resort.
meal. And of course, we have our other mga sponsors. Like for example, Red Viper Development Corporation.
Mm.
Si Sir Ronald Elpa. That's also one of our patrons in this program. We have also Mayan Beach Bar sa Basdaco, Moalboal, Cebu. We have also Natasha, Cebu ni Sir Lito Item. Alright. Mura man siya so far.
All right, so nadungog na ka.
Much more sponsors for our podcast every week.
That's right. So going back, wala tan dungog sa atong introduction. I was asking you to introduce our philosopher for tonight. Of course, si David Ricardo for episode number 8. You were saying, dili kay ni sa sikat nga philosopher. Sige, Ludi. Padayon.
Yeah. Actually, our philosopher for tonight is David Ricardo. David Ricardo is a political economist.
Mm.
Political economist is siya part show. And guess who is the idol of of David Ricardo? Already mentioned na.
Si Adam
Kita may
Smith.
idol ni David Ricardo. Si Adam
The
Smith.
father
Adam
of
Smith, if you
economics.
recall our previous discussion, Adam Smith is the guy
Mm.
who basically discussed to us about the invisible hand.
Correct.
Discuss the invisible hand of Adam Smith. But when you speak of David Ricardo, he's a British political economist, and his philosophy is really relevant in our society today because he discussed about labor theory of value.
Yeah, kana.
Labor theory of value. So, are you familiar with this one? Labor theory of value.
Di ko familiar, Ludi. Wala kay ko ka.
But of course, when you speak of the word labor theory of value, there are key phrases that you have to watch out. You have labor. When you speak of labor, we're talking here about workers.
Correct.
Mga manggagawa sa Tagalog. O sa Bisaya pa, ato mga mamumuo. Ay, sakto ba ko? Manggagawa, mamumuo. Ato mga trabahante.
Trabahante.
Alright.
Mm.
Workers per se. Those are being paid with our wages, or we call that salary. Labor theory of value.
Mm.
So, kung sa mga value ani ato mga laborers, basically. So, before we discuss about the labor theory of value of our very own David Ricardo would like to impart to us that a certain commodity or a thing or anything in this world kuno percho, dunay value.
Okay.
To kana.
Oh, tuo jud kana.
Exactly. And when you speak of the word value, according to David Ricardo, we're talking about two things here.
Mm.
It's either we're talking about utility value or use value. Again, I repeat, number one, utility value, or we call that use value. And number two, we also have what you call as exchange value.
Exchange
Clear?
value.
Not really. I will discuss that. Utility value versus exchange value.
Okay.
So again, I'd like to repeat when we speak of David Ricardo, every commodity, everything, or every material possession in this world, nanidwa ka value. Either high ka og utility value, or we call that use value, or number two, exchange value.
Okay.
Now, I'd like to distinguish both. No?
Sige, unsa may
So,
kalahian?
when we speak of utility value, Parcho, or use value, from the word itself, utility, use, it means that your value is determined on how useful or
Okay.
necessary you are to the survival of humans. So, ang price sa commodity in terms of use value or utility value is determined, no, on how you are useful to human survival,
Okay.
or how it's necessary for human survival. We call that utility or use value. So, Parcho, I'd like to ask you, I mean, what basically, surrounding you right now, what do you think is something which has the highest utility or use value? Sa imuha ron karong palibot. What particular thing right now that has the highest use or utility value without which we will not be able to survive as human beings?
Pagkaon.
Yes, food. Of
Pinakauna.
course, we're talking about food, water, obviously.
Water.
And we can
Kurente.
also use air, hangin.
Hangin. Oh.
Things basically, these are things or materials that has the highest utility or use value because without which we cannot survive. These, butata lang, ato i-top 10 siguro, like air, water, and food. These three things have the highest utility or use value because they are very, very essential for our survival. Am I correct, Parcho?
Correct.
Diba?
Agree ko na.
Now, let's go to exchange value, the second value that we're gonna be discussing. When we speak of exchange value, according to David Ricardo, i-measure nimo ang imong value, you have an exchange value if a certain thing or material has the capacity na siya purchasing value to be in exchange of another good.
Okay.
So in other words, that particular thing, regardless of whether or not it's very essential for human survival, but this particular thing has the capacity to have an exchange value or to be a purchasing power for another item or good. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me give an example so that it will be very specific. For example, diamond. A diamond is one example of an item na taas kayo exchange value. Because diamond, one single diamond, like butang talang pila ka gram, we could use that in exchange of another commodity or item. Like it could be a car. It depends upon the, the purity perhaps of unsay gidapon. So taas ka exchange value ang usa ka diamond or any gold or any metal for that matter, which is very expensive.
Munay
So-
kuha nila lodi, munay ilang sige ilalisan diya sa barter community.
Exactly, mga exchange value. Certain things who may not be necessary for human survival, but the thing is, dako siya exchange value. It means that that particular material, item, or commodity has the purchasing power to be in exchange of another good or item.
Okay.
So, if you look at use value versus exchange value, Manggod, you might wonder, air, for example, perhaps that's the highest use value or utility value. Am I correct, Parcho?
Tinod.
You cannot just imagine like
Walay hangin.
seconds without air. In other words, perhaps from the 1, 2, 3 that I mentioned a while ago, in terms of utility value, use value, air perhaps is the highest. Pero Parcho, does air, ang hangin, like kanang hangin yung giginhawa karon, does it have a exchange value?
Kana wa na siya
Can we use the air around us as an exchange of another commodity? Like ibutang ni mo, I don't know how to do that. Or for example, the water in your faucet. What I'm trying to say here is that David Ricardo is trying to impart to us na taas ang imong use value pero gamay imong exchange value.
okay.
So, ubos ang imong use value, magkataas po. No? Ubos imong use value, hina imong purchasing power, ubos po ang imong exchange value. Like diamond, of course, we can survive. We can actually survive without diamonds, am I correct? In other words, ubos siya og use value, pero nga taas kay siya og purchasing power, taas siya exchange value. Don't you think that that's very, very ironic, Parcho?
Ironic yun.
Diamond versus air.
Mm.
What do you think, Parcho? Like taas kay use value, very, very essential for our survival.
Pero
This
what?
what you call as air or butan talag water surrounding us. Yet why is it that ubos kay siya og exchange value?
Mm.
Meaning you cannot use water to purchase another item
Mm.
in exchange for another item. You cannot use air to exchange or purchase another item compared to a diamond that has a very high exchange value, yet ubos kay siya use value because definitely diamond is not really essential for our survival, obviously.
Mm.
What makes utility value and what makes the exchange value?
Kana mo na indot pangutan na. Unsay nakakuha na na. So mo
Diha na
na.
mo so ang katong giingon na to a while ago, the labor theory of value by David Ricardo.
Mm.
Because if you compare air o diamond, ang pag-achieve ani ng mga material items asa man inanglan og human labor part siya.
Diri tas diamond.
Exactly.
Mm.
Because air, like water, although perhaps ang air, of course, you don't need labor to
Correct.
get the air for you because basically it's around you, even though it has a very high utility value, yet ubos siyang exchange value because you don't need human labor for it.
Tinod.
Water, it might have also a very high use value or utility value, yet it has a very low exchange value because water is readily accessible. You don't need extensive manual labor to procure water for you. It's basically just there, right? Compared to a diamond, although the diamond here has a very low use or utility value, yet you need a lot of labor to procure diamond. That's why it has a high exchange value,
Mm.
which means that when you speak of labor theory of value of David Ricardo, the price of a commodity of an item is determined by how much labor is used to achieve that particular item. Muna siya part show.
Mm.
That's essentially what labor theory value is all about.
Okay.
So, that is basically explains ngano na yung mga butang nga mahal o na yung mga butang nga barato.
So depende
Kang
sa
Adam
kahago.
Smith, di ba, kang Adam Smith lahito yung theory.
Mm.
Mahal ang usa ka item because of the law of supply and demand.
Mm.
Di ba? So, per Adam Smith, mo gini siya basically law of supply and demand, which means that the price is high if the supply is low, which means the demand is high,
Correct.
which basically led to the price increase.
Mm.
Supposed to that saying, of course, if the supply is high, the demand will be low, the price will be low.
Mm.
That's also correct. But you have a different perspective also as far as David Ricardo is concerned. Another political economist which actually mentions that the price, labor theory of value, it means that the price is also determined by the amount of labor that we use to achieve or attain a particular item.
Pero wala siya ni disagree sa theory ni Adam Smith lodi.
Actually, wala ra part show.
Mm.
I-supplement lang siya. Add na siya
Puno lang siya
another
ni puno.
perspective.
Ah, okay,
It's
okay.
actually para nako.
Mm.
But then again, of course, we already discussed Karl Marx, and Karl Marx is very, very, against Adam Smith, against David Ricardo, and all the capitalists. Of course, capitalista man is David Ricardo for sure.
Mm.
He's capitalism because one of the critique of political economists like Adam Smith and David Ricardo is Karl Marx because if you ask David Ricardo, makaingon ta ba ang labor man day mag-determine og value sa item mo ang labor theory of value because labor determines the value of an item.
Mm.
So therefore importante di kay ang human labor.
Correct. Tinod.
In other words, Parcho, importante di ay ang sweldo sa atong mga manggagawang Pilipino.
Ayay ka.
Di ba?
Kana.
But we are aware of the fact that even in the Philippine setting, and of course if you ask Marxism, that's the reason why we need to revolt because our workers are so exploited because they're not giving living wages. Di ba?
Tinod.
Ingon si Karl Marx that we need to revolt to our government because the government is so capitalist that we are so deprived of our living conditions. Tungod ni siya sa theory ni David Ricardo na gitawag na tong iron law on wages.
Iyay ka. Iron law on wages.
Even though he actually mentioned that the price is determined by the labor or labor determines value of a item. Pero para ni David Ricardo Manggol Parcho, when you try to price an item, ang price is equivalent to, of course, the average number of hours na nag-work ato mga laborers. na magitawag pagitpartsyo og materials and napagitawag na to nga surplus. So, again, I repeat, not just labor. We have to determine also materials. Of course, materials, you cannot procure a material without human labor. Alam nga mga material mo doon mo partsyo, di ba?
Correct.
Again, material, there's still labor involved. So, material o labor per se, producing an item, procuring material, labor yapon na siya, worker yapon na siya. But diri daugod sa tulo.
Okay.
Surplus. We call that profit. And
Profit or
capitalistic
surplus.
profit, gina siya.
Mm.
Of course, we are aware of that. Mga negosyo, negosyante. We're aware of this. At mga friends sa mga negosyante, basically, lumugay magnegosyo because of profit.
Correct.
But what is very, very intriguing and what one of the critique of David Ricardo, of course, is Karl Marx, kaniyang iron law on wages part show.
Sige.
Because for him, you only need to pay a worker or a laborer a certain amount of wage that will enable him to just survive and work on the next day.
Okay. Mo na nindot nga pangutana na ato'y pangutana sa mga atong viewers lodi. Ato nang i-post nga question. So, do you agree? Before itong padayon, do you agree katong mga viewers na to? Please comment sa atong comment section either sa Facebook o sa YouTube. Do you agree that workers should be paid in an amount just enough for them to work on the next day? Bot pasabot.
Very good question, Joe.
Diba? Kung 500 ang iyang mabuhi na siya 500 ang adlaw, so dapat mao na amount sa sweldo. So akong pagsabot, mao ba na yung amount sa sweldo ang angayan para niya?
Exactly.
Diba?
Kaya, kita mo ko ng David Ricardo Perso, dapat mo na gitawag na to nga subsistence wage. Subsistence meaning igor siya mabuhi. As what he said, the worker should be paid only by the amount of wage that will enable him to survive and work on the next day. Subsistence, igo lang mabuhi. And of course, that is exactly the reason why David Ricardo has been met by many criticisms because I mean, human beings as we are, we have many needs, my good. It's not just about surviving and breathing and going back to work the next day.
Correct.
We have many needs. We need to have self-actualization. We need to have self-fulfillment. How about education? How about leisure? How about pleasure? How about our families, perhaps? Muna nga, dakong dumot ni Karl Marx ang mga capitalist, like mga David Ricardo, because of course, labor theory of value. He mentioned that the price of an item is determined by labor. Yeah, very good labor. It brings us a premium to our laborers, to our workers, which means that without the workers and the laborers, of course, how can you work? How can you have a profit? But very ironically, in his iron law on wages, some sort of contradicting himself by saying that you need to only to pay our workers in amount in order for him just to survive and go back to work on the next day. And are you aware, kaning sa ato ang minimum wage karon sa Cebu, if I'm not mistaken, last time I checked, namin tayo professor sa labor diri sa akong kilid, pila ang ato ang minimum wage ron?
Murag 500 man siguro, 550. I'm not sure kung mo.
500? 400? 400.
450?
400. I-check daw sa Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. Namagod tayo Regional Tripartite Wages and Productivity Board. Yeah, 404 day parcho.
404, okay. Muna kuan minimum.
On a daily basis. Daily ka, 404. Just pretend that we are, not our current lifestyle right now. Parcho, like just pretend that we are, minimum wage earners. Let's try to break down 404 pesos.
Per day.
Is 404, does it pass the standard of David Ricardo's iron law on wages, in which you should be paid only 404 pesos, enough for you to survive in a given day and go back to work on the next day? 404 parcho, ato i-breakdown. Pliti, pila pliti kasagaran.
So kung padong ka syudad, tagaliluan ka pliti, siguro kag 12.
Buta tayo, budget na ito.
20.
Back and forth siguro. Okay. Okay, ito na pwede. Kintahan ni parcho, by
Ato computer be.
Kaon na to parcho, kaon.
Kaon ka sa karinderya lang, kaon ka mga balik skwinta.
3 times man, mga
3
spintas.
times day. So 150.
150 na. Load mo to parcho, wala nga masagdita mo mag-load ya. So na.
Load lang kag 20. Oh.
20 at daw.
Na may anli nga 20. Sige,
20. So 190 na.
190.
pala ito. Plate.
Snacks. Awa na yung snacks.
Snacks. Snacks siguro. Snacks. May uso snacks, no?
Budget
So,
diet.
190 per show.
Oh.
So minus
Pero kani siya,
404.
una na, usa ka tao ra ni siya.
Exactly. I was about to say that per show.
Oh.
We are talking here about one person.
Ah, okay.
Butatan lang 190 budget and we're talking about 404.
Oh.
And let's not forget that majority of our minimum wage earners, basically,
Head of the family.
basically that's correct.
Mm.
And then it would be very lucky if, of course, both of your, both the mother and the father are actually working at the same time. But of course, if gamay ra sad ang ilang mga anak, and you have to remember that if, nasa children, meaning, like already 404,
Mm.
they need to go to school, napos sila plite lang mga anak, and of course, they have to feed their family.
Mm.
Which goes with that same person nga, kaning 404, medyo apiki gid for a minimum wage earner.
Mm.
But of course, if you follow David Ricardo, higher loan wages, 404 gid ya.
Mm.
Which means that subsistence wage,
Mm.
just enough for you to survive and work for the next day. So muna siya ang mga critique on capitalism ni Karl Marx. That's why they are really against capitalism because of these theories of David Ricardo.
Mm.
More of muna siya gitawag ni Karl Marx Parkshow nga exploiting our workers for the benefit of the capitalist,
Mm.
profit-oriented, business-oriented at the expense of our workers.
Mm.
So the workers will now unite and revolt against the capitalists, and we will create a communist society in which the workers will be now the leaders.
Mm.
And we don't have already private properties. We don't have a government. I mean, we have a government, as a matter of fact, dictatorship na. To each according to his needs, to each according to our ability. So muna siya nga, atong chronology na to, Adam Smith, David Ricardo,
Mm.
muna nga atay gitawag nga Marxism as a reaction to David Ricardo and of course Adam Smith.
So nag-una
Alright.
din silang duha ra ni.
Yes, Parcho. Ang ilang works lang, chronology of the works.
Mm.
Lagi gamay da. Yeah, so going back sa ato ang labor theory of value, we're talking about utility value and use value. Do you think, Parcho, just a thought ba? Parang ako, no? Even though David Ricardo, yung magid siya nga, or indirectly proportional man yun, which means na magkataas mo use value, maubos ko na mo exchange value.
Mm.
Taas ko nung ubos ko nung imong use value, taas ko nung exchange value, like diamond and, water and air, magid diha.
Mm.
I don't think so. Like, at present right now, especially with our situation right now, the pandemic,
Mm.
I think there are items that has a very high exchange value at the same time taas mo siyang use value. Di ba, Joe?
Tinood.
Like, perhaps parang ako ka na mga antivirus na mga
Vaccine.
gadgets.
Or,
Na?
oh.
For me, kanimong gikwintas ron, no?
Kani,
Sama na,
Pwede ka. Call mo ni siya.
value, di ba?
Taas kay value. Talo
Value,
exchange value.
utility value. It's just a high utility value because it's essential to our survival. Am I correct, Pacho?
Oh, 2,500 ni.
Okay.
Taas ang value.
And then of course, taas mo siya exchange value.
Mm.
If imo na siya ibot lang sa barter sa barter association, taas na siya
Barter community. Mm.
because so right now, since community is already evolving, definitely, there are things right now, and most especially with our changing times, that there are many items right now that has, of course, taas na siya user utility value. At the same time, taas mo siya exchange value.
Mm. So dili ni siya like right now Ludi, murag dili na kay siya mo apply no and entirely.
Ayo, because right now, good, because of the power of advertising, most especially the power of social media, man good.
Mm.
When you speak of the word utility value or use value, it rests upon necessity.
Mm.
How is it very necessary for our survival?
Mm.
But the thing is, right now, people can always create a need so that people will invest and buy a particular item.
Mm. Muna
It's a matter of convincing people that these things is necessary for our survival.
mm.
And because it's necessary for our survival,
They
then
can
of course
increase the value.
increase the value.
Mm.
I mean, sa una mo good, very easy lang. Water, clothing, shelter, air.
Mm.
Why is it necessary? For our survival.
Mm.
Meaning, di ta ka ginawa to die. seconds or minutes without these items.
Mm.
But right, with the power of social media, with the power of technology,
Correct.
and with the changing times, especially with what's happening in our society right now, with the pandemic, the COVID-19, you know, people can always create the necessity or the need.
Mm.
And they always, they can always present a particular item to have a very high use value or utility value. But then again, it also has a very high exchange value.
Pareha daw sa face mask ingon si Mon Angeles, si Ramon.
Yeah,
Ang
mas of course.
mahal og
Right now,
value.
taas din ang utility value for me, face mask.
Mm.
Because wala pa man tayo immunity, wala pa man tayo immunization, wala pa man tayo yung cure right now that is certified. That's why our prevention is better than cure pa magita curve. Face mask, yun is our savior right now. So use value very very high.
Alcohol.
But
Mosad.
nakataas pa po so far yung exchange value. Ubos pa yung exchange value because of arita sa law, supply and demand ni Adam Smith. Daghan mapudog.
Nag-supply na karon.
Sa mga questions sa Parjo. Yung mga ni answer sa tong question na to.
Wala pa ni answer. Naay nagpa-shoutout mo igsuon na di nas Lahog, shoutout from Lahog si Rhea Absidi mo nigsuon.
Yeah, ako na nga te. Wait.
Wow, shoutout from
Yeah.
Lahog.
Basta mo na yung mama ni Papa, no? Relax na ta sa ato ang lockdown niya.
Cebu City ra ba lockdown?
Akong ginom Attorney Garote kay Sujo. Attorney Garote. Akong mama Papa, akong Attorney. May gabi niyo diya.
Si kinsa pa may nadia kay tungod nag-stream ta both YouTube and Facebook. Di na ko makita sa
Ayan,
comments.
Mundo. Ako isong diya si Ate Liluan.
Uy, na mga tagayati.
Ayan, Mundo. Kaya ayun diya, di pa takatagay ron. Doon niya tag NBA sa imong PS4 ha.
Iyay kana ato nang i-live ang inyong game.
Ako Dre, si Ako'y Gagaw, si Tony Pectoral ba? Choy, basketball na to. Medyo pigi pa. Tony Choy. Of course, Doc Alvin. Atong winners last time, si Doc Alvin. Kaya.
Duha ka Alvin. Oh, atoy nakiguan ba na si Doc Alvin Arcaya nga after daw sa ECQ makiguan daw siya. Muges siya nato kanang live yun nga side by side ta magkuan ba.
Mga doctors.
Both doctors.
Doctors. Daghan na sa ma-share ang insights sa to.
Ang question ang utana si Ramon unsay question. The question for tonight is, do you agree that workers should be paid in an amount just enough for them to work on the next day? So mo to atong istoryahan, minimum wage is 404. So is that enough? Mo agree ba mo nga is that enough for them to survive the next day? Nya Lodi, this would also mean siguro nga morning na the social contract is very kuan ba? Useful kay munang ang regulations mo come in terms of kanang pag-determine what is enough.
Exactly.
And this is very
exactly
essential.
That's a very good show because when you speak of Adam Smith, our philosopher last time, for Adam Smith dapat the government should not less ang intervention sa it's more of just peace and order. Dapat ko pabayaan sa government of the market forces. Let the market forces decide. Laissez-faire. Let things alone. Because the invisible hand will make it to the point that the seller, the buyers will be, will have their market equilibrium. That they will be, satisfied with the services and the price that they're giving, etc. But then again, of course, even though market forces are reliable, but what if there are certain businessmen, that will tend to abuse,
correct,
and they will take advantage, and who will solve this? And that's where government regulation comes in. That's why right now we have our DTI, the Department of Trade and Industry. Of course, we have our Securities and Exchange Commission. We have our different branches of our government. There are regulatory bodies, of course.
For
whatever
labor
business happening right now, of course, labor. Yeah, we have DOLE and NLRC. These are the agencies for government that definitely will come in handy. They will come to our rescue in case of some disagreements. Because, human as we are, of course, lagi ng element of being selfish, according to Adam Smith. We are always for our selfish maganda. It's always for our self-preservation. We are always thinking about ourselves, but sometimes thinking of ourselves very, very, it can also have an adverse effect to our fellow individuals. That's why we need someone like a government that is supposedly impartial, that should be there to be, that will create,
Kana
peace and order.
labi na ka ng negosyo nga mo or an industry nga kanang self-regulating ba, di ba? Usa titawagan na ludi. And which is very evident lately sa inyo nakita sa mga balita di aron, di ba? So bago lang nahitabo nga nay nasira, ano? So mo nang naay government intervention, no, which is nakarelate sa atong mga philosophies and philosophers. Makaingon ta ba nga, was those decisions made recently by the government in terms of katong hearing atong nakitaan, which is very controversial nowadays, naato dito sila nakarelate ko din, no? Naato siya yung mga nakarelate sa atong topic ba? Makaingon may rasa gida kay kung wa pa miyan ni wa siguro kasabot pa to ng ipang storyahan.
It's NTC and of course the Congress. It's basically, there are many issues about ABS-CBN. Of course, we hate to comment about it.
Walang ta.
It's illegal. Pero, we have to stake man ta, ari mata sa modernong pilosopo. David Ricardo. And another thing like in person that I'd like to share, the third theory that I'd like to share as far as David Ricardo is concerned, ang yung law on comparative advantage, which for me is very, very good.
Sige,
law on comparative advantage. In a very brief explanation, when you speak of the word law on comparative advantage, it means that in any community or any society for that matter, a country should specialize in something which is considered to be our strength or comparative advantage compared to another country.
Okay. Sample.
Yeah, so which means, for example, in the Philippines, we are largely agricultural, supposedly. Dapat muna itong comparative advantage. Which means that in trading, international trade, that is supposedly our specialization.
Okay.
So that other countries who are not agricultural, who are largely industrial, will call on us, come to us to have trading relations because they lack what we have. Diba? And of course, we as a country, which is basically agricultural, what we lack is more of the industries, perhaps some technology, all that. We sometimes lack some manpower in terms of some specialization. That's basically where we ask also another country for some from help. We call that law on comparative advantage. Each country, for that matter, should specialize in something, and that will be our comparative advantage in international trading relations. I really, for example, mamugit tayo oil dito sa Pilipinas sa mga Middle East, ang ilang comparative advantage dito part sa man. Oil gid sila.
Oil, correct.
Kana diha, so nag-develop gid sila sa oil. But they lack manpower.
I think ang atong comparative advantage really, if you can see what's going on, is ang ato mang manpower mo naman atong export.
Good. Because daghan tag OFWs.
Kana.
So butan ta lang if for example ang atong Middle East, their comparative advantage is oil. But they lack the manpower.
Correct.
So, sa ilang mga industries. So we import our manpower dito sa Middle East, but we export export our atong mga OFWs will go there to work, but then again of course we import their petroleum products.
Correct.
And actually ginuhuna na ni David Ricardo and the law on comparative advantage because ganahan pud siya ni Aristotle katong karaan natong Greek philosopher. Mentioned about division of labor, but division of labor is just limited to a certain society. But when you speak of international trading at large, David Ricardo is for law and comparative advantage, specialization. So I think that's very relatable because that's how basically community, international trading actually works.
Exactly.
So comparative advantage na to, aside from labor part in the Philippines, I think raw materials, we are supplier of raw materials because of our untapped natural resources. Kahoy, that's being exported. Ato
Daghan
gid,
tag
I think more of manpower.
manpower.
I think
Sa
more
una
of
daghan kay tag mga kuan di, daghan kay tag agricultural no. Like sa una bugas kita may kuan na top man ta.
exactly. Pero ano naman
Wala naman
nag-import
kayo
naman ta karon.
import na ta. One thing akong
Mhm.
nahibaw ano in the past few years is daghan tag supply number 5 man siguro tas as I remember kay part man sa guan nga community. Daghan tag kawayan bamboo ni. So
Mhm.
that's why the government nowadays are really striving and working into with the help of DOST kanang ila gining gi-improve ang mga kanang communities nga mu venture into businesses nga related into kawayan. So muna ni support sila in fact land bank and atong other government nga banks PNB mo siguro apil uh, um,
Mhm.
nga they will provide loans of those people of those business people even SMEs nga magkanang magbuhat og business or related lang business into raw materials nga kawayan. So mo na siya kay we are top 5 sa kanang producers of kawayan. So naay programa na sa gobyerno because we're abundant of
Good.
kawayan. Kana.
Ato mga ukulele diha.
Oh, mo na nga
Kita
kawayan atong gigamit. We are the only one pa for now so far nga
ato mga
huni
ukulele.
ukuleles are using
Kung
bamboo.
ukulele ko isa na sa ato mga sponsor nato day. Di
Yes,
ba like
yes.
atong podcast major sponsor nato.
Mm,
Kung ukulele isa na sa atong mga major sponsor sa ato ang podcast.
mm.
Are we exporting, Parso?
Of course, sa una pa, pagsugod na to, muna yung una na tong market. Very ironic, no? Ang una na tong market is gawas. So we were exporting in Hawaii and California at first. To pagsugod niya. Eventually, nakuha na to ang local market. We've been doing that for the past more than 10 years na talaga. So, lipay ang ato nang ma-share ang atong ingenuity and our
Correct, correct,
Filipino
correct.
craftsmanship. Okay.
Exactly. Which is muna to atong comparative advantage.
Kana, ayay ka. Oh. Naday gitubag si Ramon dili sa atong question, nanay tubag si Ramon ningon siya nga for me dili enough but everyone has to start from the bottom talking about new grads. If we want to get higher pay, we will also need to evolve our skills, knowledge and experience. But dili sa dapat basis ang education for higher pay. It should be the experience and skills. Agree ko na. Agree ko na.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. You know, daghan mo basis. No? As a matter of fact, if you work in the government,
Mm.
you know, daghan na siya basis. Like, for example, if you are a bachelor's degree, na kay master's, na kay, PhD,
Mm.
and of course, experience really matters also. So those are the basis of the salary, per se, we're talking about. So that's another issue, actually. Ang ato lang, it's more of like David Ricardo because David Ricardo is basically focused on paying your laborers enough for them to survive on a given day.
Mm.
So we are talking here about rank and file employees as far as David Ricardo is concerned. Katubang naa sa pinaka lower strata sa ato mga workers sa rank and file. So of course, I don't think that David Ricardo is actually talking about a managerial ato mga supervisorial employees in which they are not really paid sa atong minimum wage. They are exempted atong labor code. So more of like ang gipasabot na David Ricardo sa atog yung mga manual laborers katong naagid sa katong yung nag-produce katong yung naa sa atong mga minimum wage earners diha ang more aning ato ang iron law and wages as far as David Ricardo is concerned.
Siguro lodi tungod ni kay sa iyang time siguro very simple man siguro ang structure sa negosyo. Murag ikaw ang tag-iya, yan na kay mga trabahante. Wala siguro pa na sa una
Exactly.
ng mga na kay manager, mas taas, supervisor.
Yeah,
Wala na sa una. So,
so na panahon. And then siyempre padung pa to ang industrial, bago lang industrial revolution. So, they are more into capital because the more you invest in capital, the more you can invest on your industry, like your machinery.
Correct.
When you invest more in machinery, it means more production. Because if you compare, a machine operated by one person is very efficient compared to 10 people working.
Correct.
So they invest more in machinery. How could you invest more in machinery? And this basically, of course, you have to cut off the wage, so that you will have more profit. And of course, you need to have more profit and capital so that you can expand. Basically, that's basically what business is all about.
So I think si
So,
Adam Smith po din na si libro ana about specialization, which is one nato na discuss pero nindot sa nga point nga
napda. Oh.
no.
Imagine, katukang Adam Smith ang iyang libro, Wealth of Nations, gito Parsyo.
Baga kay ito siguro.
So, Wealth of
Bestseller gito.
Nations means that, it means that, it's more on, from the word itself, Wealth of Nations, like, it's more of how less government intervention could really lead to, higher economic gains. Mawito siya kang Adam Smith. That's why invisible hand. Because we are by nature selfish.
Correct.
Saman, okay na ta? Wrap up ta?
Wrap up ta.
Tao
Murag
naman
nindot
sa-
ta nakarelate ta tanan sa kanang atong mga previous philosopher ba murag kuan.
Tagay sa gamay.
Minggana ang kuan ang tanduay ice blue. Last na hurot. Okay, so before we go, we will wrap up sa atong mga take away points na tulad din very important for David Ricardo para pod sa atong mga estudyante diha.
David Ricardo, to wrap up, to summarize, David Ricardo is one of the proponents of labor theory of value, which means that the value of a commodity item is determined based on the amount of labor that is being exerted to attain a particular item, which means that labor really determines value or price of an item, which means that the more you exert labor to attain or produce a particular item, that basically means that the price will go high. That determines the value or the price of an item. And of course, we're talking about exchange value as far as the two values are concerned. Use value and utility value, or the exchange value. And of course, iron loan wages, number 2, which means that the amount of labor or the wage are going to be paying your employees, most especially the laborers, especially just amount for them to survive in a given day, go back to work the next day. So we call that the iron loan wages. And of course, number 3, we have the law and comparative advantage, which means that, of course, we need to specialize on something so that we will be able to succeed in trade relations. We call that law and comparative advantage.
Okay.
Ano na?
So more than
Basically,
3 points ni
3
David
points,
Ricardo.
3 major points.
And of course, kung ganahan mo review sa atong mga episodes, you want to learn more about these ancient philosophers nga atong discuss in a modern and relatable ways sa atong Modernong Pilosopo. You can always check our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/Modernong Pilosopo. And of course, we are also, our podcast, the audio podcast is available in Spotify. Spotify, search lang niyo Modernong Pilosopo. Kita rin na diha nga Pilosopo. So also in Google Podcast and all other podcast platform and Anchor.fm. Unsa pa di? Of course, ganahan sila mo advertise or ilang ganahan i-promote ang ilang product or service. We can always talk to us, send us a private message or an email sa modernongpilosopo@gmail.com.
Right. At ibalay itong mga sponsors.
Sige.
Gangs Food House. Daghang salamat, Gangs Food House.
Gangs Food
for-
House.
Alright. Gangs Food House. Ako na itong dimension ganyan ang Facebook page.
Yes.
Lahat. Numbers.
Avicii M1 na di. Air purifier, wearable air purifier ato ning amigo si Juan. Idol na to. Si Mr. Tabar, 3 points, ha? Naminaw na.
Alright.
Si
Again, Red Viper Development Corporation, of course, Mayan Beach Bar, Boal and Natasha Cebu.
Right.
Ato mga sponsors.
And of course,
Of
Don
course,
Andres.
Hundi Guitars and Don Andres Mamada.
Okay.
Sponsors.
Na-mention mo sila natatanan. We would like to thank everybody who've joined us tonight in our live episode, both on Facebook and YouTube. Bago mi ano, first time na mga nag-live stream in both platforms. So, check out our Facebook page and YouTube for updates. So, nanata diha permanente na every Saturday, 8:30 p.m. here at Modernong Pilosopo. Salamat Lodi. Manamilita. We'll say goodbye to everybody.
Alright.
Salamat. Thank you. And sunod sa Barunapod.
See you.
See you next time.
Thank you. Salamat.
Okay. Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.